guess starting from high school, actually, I was very lucky in that I had a very, very good design teacher. And that kind of, I think, encouraged my enthusiasm for design, and I found it fantastic as this kind of this way of solving problems. One of the first things I think that got me into design properly was the IDEO shopping trolley video. I think you know the one. I think everyone knows that one. I remember seeing that at school and thinking, wow, there's this whole process of looking at things. So I went on to study product design at university. At the time, it was called product design and new media. The new media part being this kind of, I don't know, interaction design or whatever it became later, and now is just kind of digital design. That was a little part of the course. And from there, I was lucky enough to meet creative directors at Lego and was invited out to Lego for an interview. And so I started my career at Lego in Billund, Denmark, in the preschool department initially, so working with Duplo products. I was there for about a year and a half, but always felt this need to be, things there were very much business as usual at the time. And so always felt this need to be doing something that was a little bit more challenging for my brain. I was very lucky to be asked to join a team which was starting the development of a girls' play theme, which eventually became Lego Friends. So at that time, my wife and I decided we didn't want to live in rural Western Denmark for the rest of our lives, and so
why? No,
we thought we'd move back to the UK. And I decided a lot about
what was first, Adam, the need to privately.
I think the geography part of it was first, and then that sort of made a natural break. I also realized I had a lot of skills which were great for Lego, but not very useful elsewhere. There's a lot of kind of technical Lego related stuff that you build up. And I've never been a designer who's sort of the best, I've never been the most skillful CAD operator or sketcher, or I always kind of know a little bit of a lot of things. So I thought it'd be a good time for, to do something new. And so I decided to study for an MBA to give me kind of the credibility and the knowledge to pursue that in my career. A hard-working year of my life, and actually out of the MBA got a job as an innovation consultant. So that was a small management consultancy called Inzenka, and they focus on sort of helping big corporate clients, so people like Philips, BAE Systems, EDF Energy, some of their clients, helping them sort of build new businesses, designing and strategizing for that. On from there, I took a little bit of time out to sort of reevaluate what I wanted to do, because I realized that wasn't quite the right thing for me. And actually, this job came up where I am now. It's a company called Unforgettable. We make products and we retail products for people living with dementia to help them live the best life possible. And so my role here is head of new product development and innovation. And what appealed to me, there's a number of things that appealed to me about this, but it was very much, it's a mix of the kind of the high level strategy, but actually also the hands-on sort of product development and detail, which is great. And, is the ability to make a real positive impact, positive difference to people's lives.
I know it's extremely difficult to mention this, but still give it a try.
Yeah, I think it depends very much how you measure things, but actually I think the probably one of the best parts of my career at that time when I was developing Lego Friends, just because it was such a fantastic team, helped each other out and had kind of different skill sets. So I think you don't realize these things at the time. It's only in hindsight you realize actually what a special place that was to be in, a special time in your career. So I actually think that was probably my time as a as an innovation consultant. Not because it wasn't enjoyable. I learned a lot in that role, and actually gave me a real kind of breadth of experience of a lot of different kinds of businesses and a lot of different sectors, which I think was really valuable. But I think a couple of things frustrated me about it. One of which was it wasn't particularly hands-on. It was very much kind of strategy and putting together PowerPoint decks for presentations and things, and just kind of telling people what you think. The other of which, actually looking back on it now, it wasn't really a design process. It was very much the approach there was very much kind of classic business strategy in sort of hypothesis testing. You test that to see if that was the right idea, rather than keeping it open and fuzzy as you kind of would in a design process. So
yeah, but how much have you been busy with growing as a professional?
I was thinking about this. It's definitely not a continuous process. Do you know what I mean? It's something I sort of come back to, I think, every 2 years. I feel like you take a step on, you work at something for a while, and then perhaps you get to a point. I know particularly I'm someone who gets bored with stuff quite quickly, so you might be in a position where I think, okay, I want to do something new now. How do I do that? How do I get to that next step? And then I think you focus on the growth. So particularly like the Grow program at Lego I took part in, that was one of those times. And then obviously studying for my MBA was one of those times as well, to sort of move in a different direction. So yeah, it's definitely something I come back to every few years. I'd say I'm always keen to be at the front end of things, and the kind of the thinking part of the design process. I know there's a lot of people who are like incredibly skilled at sketching or at CAD or particular areas, and really enjoy that and love being like the master in the area. That's not me. I like to know a little bit of everything going on and really be able to think through how something works, which I guess makes me a sort of a good fit for more of a design management role than a sort of technical designer. I don't think it has been yet, and I think that's just I mean there was a time at Lego that I had a sort of a small team, but yeah, it's not really been part of my career yet, but I would actually like it to be, because I do enjoy the people side of things as well. And being able to coach people and help them. I actually, if I would have done something different, and I don't know how this would have played out, it probably would have been to not do the MBA. Just because, not that it wasn't a valuable experience, it really was, but I wonder if I could have got a similar sort of breakthrough experience by spending that time and money, more importantly, being in like a startup for a year or something like that, or just getting more sort of vocational learning. Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. I'd love to get to the point where I, have my own design team. And hopefully that's something that I can achieve within the next few years. Should our organization grow the way we want it to, that I can actually build a design team here and have the experience of that.
Why?
Why? I think a lot of this comes down to it's because it's something I've not experienced yet.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting to state that, because it's basically like, again, an experiment on whether this is something for you, right?
Yeah. So I guess my goal is just to have as broader experience as possible.
Yeah.
And I would like at some point perhaps to have my own business, but I know that I'd need a co-founder who is very structured and kind of good with the the side of skills that I'm not so strong at. It comes from a couple of things, like again, like it's not something I've really experienced, so I'd like to experience it, and it's often, like in the startup world that I'm in, I see a lot of opportunities for things. It's, I guess the test is whether I can really carry out what's needed to take advantage of those opportunities. The ideas are the easy part, right? I think it's the idea that I'd like to retire early, ultimately.
So you have to basically win the lottery, right?
Yeah. Basically, you want to create something that someone then buys for a ridiculous amount of money. So it would be, it would be a business with some kind of product rather than like a design agency, because I know from having been on the sort of consultant side, you are always at the beck and call of the client. So it's something where you're building something for yourself. But it is, it's some years in the future, I think, just to be in a position kind of, with a family and stuff that I could do it and take that risk. I would say a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but I hear you, and I kind of it sounds quite right. A little bit of everything, but what I really like about it is that it's a little bit of everything to experiment, right? There's a goal behind a little bit of everything, because I know also people that have a little bit of everything that just randomly go wherever, but there's no red thread, there's no clear line. But you to experiment, I think that's something to add to that little sentence.
Yeah, definitely. Future, a little bit more of everything. Yeah, more of the same, I guess. That's actually the hardest question I think you've asked.
Yeah. So a little bit of everything to experiment, just to continues, basically.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, nice.
I would just, I've always treated it like another design project, another design problem in that same, that same sort of double diamond approach, if you want to look at it like that. So just like, research your options. What's always a surprise, what was a surprise to me, I think, when I started with this approach, is just how willing people are to talk about what they're doing. And so if you find someone who's sort of doing something you're interested in, ask them to have a chat or go along to meetups and talk to people and find out about what they do, and does that sound interesting? Just kind of build out your networks and stuff in that way, and experiment and iterate. And
so you use your own tools, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Use for your own tools in your process.
Thanks, man.